Yeah, but no, I'ma stick to the plan. No, I'ma stick to the plan. Yeah, yeah. No one can fuck with my bread. No, I'ma get it again. Yeah, yeah. I'm too hungry to wait. I got too much on my plate. Yeah, yeah. Every day I make a play, so I need you out of the way. Yeah, yeah. I'ma stick to it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I had a long day and I'm a long way from where I'm going. I need to relax. You can ease that, boy. I know it. I want you so bad, but I need that back. Never going back. Sticking to my plan. Yeah, yeah. I'ma stick to it. Yeah.
Motherfuckers to the left. King Tripe ballin' on the west to the death. With one breath, get your little haters upset. Banging on the vet to get your set soaked wet every time. G-Lew usually rollin' with a 9. Caged in the range with a couple hood dimes. The hub city's mine with killers of all kind. A G over 30 still feeling in his prime. The right frame of mind, I lift a nigga off his feet. But the left will slap a nigga to sleep. I'm a monster. Fuck being a gangster, I'm a gunster. First generation capo, I leave the rest to you youngsters.
Deep in the tank, unlimited artillery. We dealing with a gang of hostility. Pray to your guardian angel, Mangy gorilla, what's up? Get mango. You're in present day. Flying off a roller coaster, lost in the ocean.
Yeah.
There's sharks in the water.
Listen here, y'all cops better collect your pension, ain't no one shot.
Yeah, that's a jam right there. I love that song. Hey, welcome to the Hookah Lounge. It's me, Dee Dee. And man, I'm just like, this is so stupid because I'm really kind of nervous tonight. So I can get on here and start talking about everybody else, and like I give little tidbits about myself, but it's really about me tonight, so it's gonna be interesting. But once I start talking about my books, I really love my characters. I really fall in love with my characters, so that's gonna be a lot of fun. Darayl is gonna pull up a little later. She's been having some technical difficulties, so we're praying that we get her in. And then I don't know if Keturah is gonna show up. She's not feeling well, so we're gonna send out all our love to her today. But you know me, like I say, every Saturday, I love ending my Sabbath with you guys. It's the perfect way to end it. We had fun last night. We partied. And I'm not usually on screen on Friday nights. I'm usually in the comments. So that was also kind of fun to hang out with G-Lew. So we're always on opposite sides of the camera. So I had a good time last night. I was partying. If you missed the show, go back and watch it because we had a blast last night. So my son popped in. He stood in the door. He doesn't get on camera often. So but he's standing in the doorway watching and listening. So he had fun also. We got a toast tonight. I just made a regular old Cadillac. There's my girl. There's her Keturah. She's watching. Hey, Keturah. So, I don't know what to toast to today. Hey, let's toast to G-Lew. His new album. He going to next week. We won't be here next week. G-Lew is going to Vegas, baby. And then I like to always toast to all you guys. Let's toast to everyone out there watching also. So I just made a basic Cadillac. You know, I can get margarita. You know, I can get fancy with these margaritas. I like Cadillacs. I love that purple Cadillac. What's up, Western Ave? How you doing, girl? I love those. But honestly, the reason I didn't get fancy with the Cadillac is because I'm lazy. With the margaritas, because I'm lazy. So this is the glass I took in the kitchen to make it. And after I added the tequila, the mixer and the tequila, there was no room for anything else. And I honestly didn't feel like want to get a bigger glass. So yeah, just laziness, pure laziness that I didn't make it schmancy with the I didn't make it a Cadillac and I didn't make it a oh, you know what, I'm so dumb because My bar is over there. I really just couldn't. I got big glasses over there. Yeah, okay. Well, I guess it just wasn't meant for me to have a bunch of alcohol in my glass tonight. So, cheers to everyone out there. Um, the nice weather. Yeah, I don't even know what the weather is like because I didn't go outside today. I just really laid up in the bed and read a book. I watched my Bible study, then I read a book. That's all I did. But I need to take my butt outside and do something. I used to have a balcony. When I used to go stay with my son out in Whiteyville, I used to go sit out on the balcony and smoke my cigars. So much fun. But I stopped smoking too. No more Black and Milds for me. Or my big cigars. So cheers to everyone. So good. So we're going to have a blast tonight because I'm going to talk about my books and I have them sitting here next to me. I'm going to give out some stuff too. I got on my, got my little Black Widow. Let me see. See, that's my Black Widow t-shirt. We gave these out when we dropped Black Widow. So if you bought a book, you got a t-shirt. So I'm going to give some of those out tonight. We got our notebooks we're going to give out tonight. I never put my screen back. Because the publishing company we have, because I take a lot of notes. So we have our notebooks that we have up on the on Amazon. So we're going to give these out. This one is the Phenomenal Woman one. And then we have the Golden Dreams one. It says on the back, Phenomenal Women Take Phenomenal Notes. So that one is pretty dope. And then we have this one, the Golden Dreams. We're going to give that one out as well. And then I'm going to give out some t-shirts and some free books tonight. So, not too hot. This is the best time of year. Not too hot, not too cold. You can kind of kick it, relax. You don't really need to. That's why I was sitting here like, should I turn the air conditioner on? I was like, I don't think I need it. You don't need the air. You don't need the heat. You can just kind of kick it. I don't really like super hot. Oh, I can't stand super hot weather. I prefer cold weather because you can always throw on a blanket, warm up. Can't really do that in the summertime. You can take off all your clothes and still be hot. So I love California though. Wouldn't want to live anyplace else. I'm from New York and it just gets so cold out there. Like the first time when you're old enough, like I went back to New York. We came out here when I was 1. I went back when I was 3. I went back. Well, I didn't stay long when I was 3. I went to go visit for the summer and hang out with my brothers. When I went back good to where I remember being there. I was 6 or 7. And you get to go out there and play in the snow and it's so much fun for about 15, 20 minutes until you get so cold your bones hurt. And then you realize, yeah, that New York winter is just not fun at all. Yeah, no air today. Summer air in LA is the worst. Oh my goodness. Man. The first time I realized LA was not the greatest place to be, I was in elementary school and I didn't know the it's smoggy so you couldn't go outside and play. Like I was in school here and they took us back in because it was too smoggy to be outside playing. I was like, what the shiznizzle? A smog day? What's up, big devil? So yeah, California, LA had those smog days. You know, in California we couldn't play outside. Yeah, that was something new, like living on both coasts, learning what we had snow days in New York and we had smog days in California. That was the craziest thing ever. So that was kind of crazy. So this flavor, and last time I had this flavor, I had to put the thing down, like it was so strong. So I will be taking those super deep. I'm not gonna have time because I'm gonna hop into these books. Before I start the books, I said a lot of interviews that I do, people ask me why did I start writing, and I'm only half truthful. But today I prayed about it. Like, do I tell the whole truth on why I started writing? Because it's a really interesting. I did tell Mama Boo when she interviewed me why I started writing. It was my mom. My mom was the one who got me to start writing again. I had been writing when I was a little girl. I entered I would spend a lot of time in the library. My aunt worked at the library. My sister worked at the library. So I spent a lot of time in the library and I read. And I won a lot of little essay contests when I was younger. But I decided to share this story today because it was my mother who got me to start writing. But I went through, I don't know how to phrase, I never looked for a pity party, but the reason is I had a couple of accidents and I bumped my head a couple of times. And I slowly lost the ability to speak and understand what people were saying to me. So I spent a lot of time just sitting in bed watching TV, and then the ability to understand what you were saying. So I love Law and Order, CSI. The one in Miami was my favorite. And I'm real forgetful. Like I hit my head like a football player. I had 2 concussions, so I will forget things. So I'd be watching a TV show and I didn't understand it, so I would have to rewind it. And my mom saw me deteriorate, and it made her nervous because this was a girl that was in honor classes and things like that. So first it was to read, to try to get back. And it was it started where the husband started teasing me because I didn't realize I had started a stutter. And then it went to, I just couldn't put a complete sentence together. So I just shut down and I just stopped talking completely, unless I had to say something to you. I just stopped talking completely. So what brought me into this literary world was I started to read. I started to get books. The husband got me a Nook, and I started to read to try to get back some type of understanding. And then it went into, my mom told me to start writing. So that's what I started this story. And it was hard. This journey was with my son, who helped me through the one above Eric, because I couldn't keep the thought process. So that book that you heard me see Darayl talk about is the first book that I ever wrote. So he had to help me keep, like I would tell him what I wanted to write. So that first book that's why it's so near and dear to me. So he helped me get through those, that thought process on how to get that book together. So that is how I began writing. And I don't share that with too many people because they didn't know that I was in that state. So that's why when I say sometimes this journey is a real serious one, it means a lot to me. And my mom is the one who saw I was going to be lost if I didn't find something that serious that would get me over that hump. So, and I know sometimes you'll hear me on the show, I will repeat certain things and you're like, didn't she just say that? But it's the memory loss. And one thing to keep me organized, I had to learn, learning how to write with my son, is I have this book. This is not just the first one. I have a lot of these books. And that's what I don't understand when people are writing their stories, how they, because there's a book that I just read that I said it wasn't consistent. So I said this person didn't realize what they wrote in the front of the book didn't match the end of the book. But I'm very detailed when I write my books. I keep very detailed notes as I'm writing my story. Because you'll see as I pull my books out, I don't write books that are under 80,000 words. So they're very long. So I keep very detailed notes on every book from start to finish, even from my characters. Like before I start my book, like I said, I was going to give details on how to write. A lot of people don't know how to really get started. When I start a book, see, this is the white party. Like I detailed the white party in the Queen's book, everything that's the client list, everything. But I start every book, like this is the Ramseys, with my characters. Before I write one word in the book, I build my characters. I start with, like here's Malik. So this is Malik. This is his page. And I started with like, he's raised in Baldwin Hills. His mother was a soap star. His father is an investment banker. His mother belongs to a sorority. He went to Crenshaw High. He met his best friend Levi. So I really create a character before I start writing one word about the book. So I create every main character that's and then it goes to, you have Alfonso, Levi, So every page, Leanne, every page that I have my detective info. So every page is dedicated to that character before I even delve into writing a book. And that's how, when someone is reading your book, that character is believable. That means I really knew that character. So as I started writing that book and you're reading that book, you're totally going to know that character. Then you fall in love with that character because that character seems so real to you. It's not just I just threw this character together and then I'm writing a book. No, I personally make friends with every I make real friends with these people before I start writing one word into this book. So I know them inside and out. You don't confuse the characters as you're reading them. They don't all start to sound the same because I truly know who that person is inside and out, their background, where they come from, how their mother treated them, what's their favorite food. I really make it a point. That's why I don't finish books in 30 days. So, because I really have to know who I'm writing about and how that person feels. So, that's my writing process when I write a book. So I really have to love, you will fall in love with the men in my book. I don't really like these books about cheating men. I'm tired of reading about cheating men. I really like to read books about good men who love hard and they're trustworthy and they'll do anything for the person that they fall in love with. Now you will get, my books are realistic, so you will get somebody in the book that like, oh, this dude right here, and you'll also get, like a Ramsey's Rise. When I get to that one, I got her. Her name is Latoya, and she has that Smurfette blue hair. It's a wig. And one of the reviews was, every time I read this character, it makes me think about the girl from Love and Hip Hop. I don't know her, but I was like, oh my goodness! So you were able to connect with that character, and you thought about something. And every time I write a book, I try to make sure it's your neighbor, your sister, your cousin, yourself, your dude, the dude you always wanted to be with, like, oh, I want a man like this. So I want you to connect with every single character that you read. So I want it to be somebody that you connect with, somebody that you know, somebody you want to know, like that could be my best friend, or that is my best friend. So as you're reading the book, so when I say that I write people that you know or you want to know, I try to be as real. I don't write about fairy tales and pixie dust. I don't give everybody a happy ending. When my mom was in the hospital, she called me like 2:00 in the morning because I killed off a main character. And she's like, bring him back. Why would you kill them? And I'm like, Mom, this isn't a soap opera. I can't bring that character back. He's dead. And before I started writing the book, I knew I was going to kill off that character. And I'm so stupid. Because as I'm writing it, I start crying. Like, I'm writing his death and I'm crying. Like, it was the silliest thing ever because I knew I was going to kill this character off before I wrote one word in the book. But it's for the family dynamic because I like to write books like shaking up your world. Everybody deals with this in life. And how does a close-knit family overcome this traumatic experience in life? And how do you get over it and move on and make life okay again? That happened to my family. So, and how did we move forward? My oldest son was tragically taken away from us in a blink of an eye. So how did that family have to adjust? But it's not like my family because, I'm gonna get to the book and then you'll understand why. They had to really, what happened is a family member accidentally kills someone in their family. And how do they overcome that? So that didn't happen in my life. So nothing is ever about me. And every time someone that knows and reads my books, they always like, is that about me? No, these are fictional characters. So I don't write about people that I know. I just like you to feel it. Like if you read it and you felt it. Like if you read one of my books and you didn't laugh and you didn't cry, I didn't do my job. You should be laughing because I always put somebody in the book that's going to have you laughing. So if you didn't laugh and you didn't cry in my books, and I didn't do something right. If you didn't walk away from one of my books and fall in love with either one of the female characters or one of the male characters, then I didn't do my job. Hey, what's up, DJ Maniac? So I like for you to really get involved in that book or get mad or this like or you want to fight one of my characters. I want you to be like, oh, I can't stand that girl. So
thank you.
Oh, there you are, darling. I just saw your text. I was like, oh, because my phone is over to the side.
Hey, how you
Here
doing?
she is. Hey, lovely.
Hey.
I was I don't know if you were listening. I was talking about my writing process before I hopped into these books. So
Right.
Hey, Perlana. Hey, since you I love your hair. Since I want to give away something since talking about my writing process.
Okay.
And it's really easy. I'm gonna give away well, I don't know because I don't know who's gonna win it, a male or female. What did I say I do before I start writing any book? Just like watching your favorite show and they kill off one of your favorite characters, you're like, no, exactly. Exactly. That's what I do. Yes. So
you got it's no fun if you're not killing somebody. I don't know why.
yes, and I've been called a serial killer because somebody, you know, when I'm writing somebody who's not the husband or one of my sons is like, who are you killing next?
Right. I mean, or something tragic. I like for something tragic to happen. In your last book, Black Widow, you had so many whammos. Like, you know, you didn't know what was going to happen next. Like, she was really a hood rat.
Wasn't she a mess?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait till I gotta send the second one to you. I was busy editing, but yeah, my son was like, so who's not gonna survive? It's gonna surprise you because somebody else read it. He said you didn't do a lot of killing in that book. I said no. What I did is you got to read it because every time you think it's about to happen, because I don't want to be predictable.
Right.
Every time you think it's about to happen, you're like, oh. So that's
Just
what I
when
did.
you thought she couldn't get any lower, she sank lower. That was what I was like, damn, like, the daddy too?
That was like wait, what? Her plan, like she had that was her like her plan C, I guess, or that was like the ultimate but not really, because when you get to the end of the book, you know, part one, when she gets into the car in the hospital, you're like, girl, what? Him too?
Right.
So with her, it's like there's always you didn't know at the beginning of the book that she was that manipulative.
Right.
Yes.
But the way she just left him and left a letter on the bed, it was like crazy.
Yeah. Hey, Crippo. Yeah, I did that. I wrote that book because one day I was at my son's house, the TV wasn't working. You know how internet goes out?
Right.
So I started watching videos on my phone. And that song, that Uncle Sam song came on, and it was one day I received a letter, and why did it have to be my best friend?
Okay.
And I said, that's a cold song. Like, she's hugging her boyfriend and looking at his best friend on the basketball court. I was like, that's a cold book right there. Can you imagine, like, how do you leave me for my best friend?
And the best friend was, he was still trying to be so thorough, and she had him too, Did she end up killing somebody though?
Yeah, you gotta read it. Wait, let me see, because I asked it explain. Yeah. Oh yeah, Pamela, that's you. Explain about all the characters and backgrounds first. That's right. So Pamela, what would you like? Would you like one of these T-shirts, or would you like? Oh, I have it right here. I'm just trying. We have these T-shirts, the Black Widow T-shirt. That's the book we're talking about right now. I don't know. Can you see
I want one. I didn't get a Black Widow T-shirt.
I gotta send you one.
Yes, you do.
I know. That was the promo when we dropped the book, the buy a book and a T-shirt. Or would you like one of the notebooks, Pamela? Let me know. Hey, drop it into my my DM so I can send it off to you. Okay. So now we'll talk about some of these books. I'm not gonna go too long into it because we only have an hour. I'll start talking about these books. But you want a book? Okay. Let me know which one.
Black Widow is a good one. You should get that one, Pamela.
So, Instagram Queens. I wrote this book. This book was actually one whole book, and I broke it down into 3. I wanted to talk about this book first because it was an assignment when I was signed to a publishing company, and it was called, we were supposed to write Craving the Love of Something Queen. And I really struggled with this because I was like, I don't know much about like writing Queens books, like, and everyone was coming up with all these stories, and I was like, what is really in right now? Everybody is on, and there's 3 of them. So we have this one. That was book 1. I broke them into 3 books because the book was so big, it intimidated people. It got a lot of really, the first time I put it out, it got a lot of really good reviews, but people were really kind of upset with the way I ended this book. So I
gotta read it. I haven't read it yet.
Yeah,
all of your books are so good.
This one I kind of I wanted to dive into something different because everybody writes the same books.
Right.
And these are about 2 queens that are taking Instagram by storm. And that was the end thing, right? Everybody, they're trying to get to 1 million followers. But this is where I threw the wrench in this book because it's truly a love story. And a lot of people that write books about faith don't write, they write books like The Preacher is Messing with the Congregation, The Deacon God, The Preacher's Wife Pregnant. You know, they write books like this. And I wanted to take these young kids in their, mid-20s. And how do you deal with dealing with Instagram and dealing with faith? So their best friend from since they were in like the 6th grade, is their manager. And he knows everything to do to get them to 1 million followers. And he's doing a great bang up job. But his faith is getting in the way. Because you read the back of the book, he's truly in love with one twin and infatuated with the other. But it all wraps around his faith because the way he is with his faith, he's in his 20s, he's still a virgin. He believes, and then his father runs like one of the biggest camps that he doesn't want to be a part of. But he still wants to live his life right. So in his eyes, Dara is out there. She dates the best football players. They make rap videos. She's out there and she does it all. And then Kara is more reserved and she's not like that. But she does sneaky things where she'll disappear on him. So in his mind, as much as I love her, can I trust her? Because she's so sneaky. So he keeps his feelings to himself. And the moral of this story is because the book starts off there at a white party. And Lot makes jewelry. She meets Lot on a video shoot because he brings the jewelry for the video shoot. But they're doing a Ciroc party. So they borrow the jewelry to do the video shoot. And she meets Lot. Now Lot, people either they loved him and didn't like him. I wrote him and that you love to hate him. Like you kind of understand why he's the way he is, but then you don't kind of like him. So you guys, you're reading the book, like, I don't know if I should like him or not. So that's his character. Because he doesn't treat...
What was his name?
Lot, L-O-T.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So you get it if you get it. Right. So as Miko finally comes to realization, like, it's my... the white party starts with... there's a shooting and one of the twins gets shot. And you don't know until you get to the end of the book. So Miko goes to this thing. Do I tell Kara how I feel? Do I just don't live with Kara? So as you get, this is why everyone got upset because at the end of the book, did Miko wait too long to express his feelings? Should he have gone with faith or should he have gone with love? So that's the choice that he, hey Joyce, that's a choice that he has to make. And you watch him go through this book struggling over his faith and his and love. So I'm gonna put the all my books are on Amazon. And this is another thing. I have written 12 books, 13 books, but I don't have them all back up on Amazon yet because I gave them facelifts. So I'm slowly getting them back up. I think I have 8 up on Facebook on Amazon right now. I'm gonna put the link up there. You can go check out. Let me do that right now. So that one is it. That's why people got a little upset at the end of the book. They were like, did he make the right? And then with Lot and Dar's story, they were like, did Dar settle? Could she have done better? You know, so, but like I said, in the real world, who makes the right decisions?
Right.
I don't give you what you think should have happened.
Right.
You know, so people, and that was a coming of age book. So that one's a really good one. I really enjoyed writing that one. You know, I go through this. I get stuck on trying to. I hurt my hand, so I'm stuck on with one little finger trying to get this to copy and paste.
What was your favorite book? What was your favorite book to write? I don't know if you already answered that question, but which one was your favorite? I know which one is my favorite, but
oh, that's so hard to say because Love Child will always be my baby.
That's my favorite.
Yeah. But I had so much fun writing Ramsey's Rising. Because that one, wait. I'm gonna get into Ramsey's Rising. Let me pull this one up, because I'm gonna talk about Love Child last.
Okay.
Hey,
Megalicious, so vicious.
Megalicious. Ramsey's
Hey, boy.
Rising.
Thanks for joining us, ladies.
Okay. As you see how thick my books are, part 1 and part 2. This was supposed to be a standalone.
Never.
It got way too big, so it had to be 2 parts. Well, actually, I reprinted this book. It was a little smaller because I like them to be. I like to give you enough space because I can't see. So there are people like me who can't see. I kind of give you enough. I double space it. I mean, space and a half. What 1.15. So I give you a little space that the words aren't really jumbled together. They're lines. So it's a little bit bigger. This book, let me tell you about this book. This book is about 3 brothers and a cousin. And they own a restaurant because they take over the restaurant. They worked in it their whole lives. Their daddy, they're jocks. He went from a food truck to buying a restaurant. Okay. He raised them to be jocks, to go to school and be jocks. And they were one had a basketball scholarship. I think he went to Baylor. The other one plays for the Rams. He's a Rams football player. And the other one had a scholarship to go to UCLA. Then tragically, the parents get killed in a car accident. And the aunt gets paralyzed. So now the oldest brother drops out of college to take over the restaurant. So they're like trying to get their lives together because their parents, tragedy strikes this family. So the youngest brother, twin, he's a wild child. Oh, this just, mama's boy, mommy is gone. I don't know what to do. He's running around just doing crazy stuff. The oldest is like, we got to keep this business together. And then the cousin, she finished school business. So they're the girl cousin and the oldest brother, they're taking care of business, running this business. Now, and they flip houses on the side. So trying to keep twin, the youngest, mind right, he's the one that's fixing up these houses. And then how this money he's opening up the cabinets that he ordered because, he's doing it the wrong way in the streets, ordering the cabinets instead of doing it right. Money pops up. Where'd the money come from? So now they're right. And instead of like calling his brother, because his brother is street smart. He's from the streets, raised in the streets, LA, he already knows. But his dad was trying to get them out of that world, which is why he moved them to Baldwin Hills. Right. But he's still in the streets. So instead of just calling his brother, like, Slim, this money. No, he takes the money out the house. So now, who does the money belong to? They're like, hey, that money wasn't supposed to be delivered to that house. So now the hunt is on for twin and that money. So now it becomes this vicious war that's brought to Slim's door for that money.
So if you had to put your books into a category, would they be urban or would they be more like African American literature? What genre do you think your book should be placed in?
Because it has so much of LA in my books. Everything is really LA, but I don't write like I read urban lit, I do. But a lot of
Right.
urban lit, the way that they write, I
Yes, you
write
don't write like that. You don't write like
no,
that.
I
No.
don't. But
So
you're
your
gonna
cover
get
is kind of it kind of betrays it a little bit too,
because
because
yes, because you got those brothers,
Mhm.
you got her, but not like some of these urban lit covers. I try to let you know you're gonna get an urban legend story, but it's gonna be told in a different kind of way.
Right. Because urban, they want something so specific. They want the hardcore. They
Yeah.
want, and I try to shy away from it, but that genre is so popular.
It is, and because when my mother read this book, she was like, "Oh, you don't usually write like that."
Right.
Yeah, she was
Right.
like, "That's so different than the way you write." Because this book. I mean, to where Slim is sneaking in. They say Slim is the Grim Reaper, and he sleeps in, like he sneaks in, kills you, and sneaks out, and you don't
Right.
even know it was him. I mean,
Right.
he's so cold with it, but it turns into like a street. They go from being um, royalty to they have to really hit a street war. I mean, you get some street war stories like when they hit the revenge after what they did to his brother. That revenge is when they hit the streets, and then you get your love stories in there to where people are so in love with the way he loves Brit, and then there's Kane, who he's in Watts and he runs Watts. He's a big time drug dealer in Watts. And when his cousin falls for her, he thinks that he's white and he keeps saying, "Stop calling me a white boy. I'm Puerto Rican." Puerto Rican and black, and you keep calling me and that's the whole thing in the book. And he's like, "Stop calling me a white boy." So that brings war between him and Slim, between Kane and Slim. Like, if I want to date your cousin, I'm gonna date your cousin. And Slim is like, "No, you're not." So it does have that. That's why when I wrote this one, I went to a whole different element for me because I wanted you to see LA in a different way because it's really not grimy like these urban lit books. It really has a true story in there.
Not anymore, really. Not because it's so gentrified these days.
Right. Well,
Mhm.
because they live in Baldwin Hills, but they keep going to because they're doing the same thing. They're buying houses and they're flipping them.
Right.
So that's what he's trying to do. And then the streets come looking for him. And he's not trying to be in the streets. He doesn't want to revert back to what his daddy took him away from. And he has to. So, and then, in the process, they opened up a restaurant number 2. It's that book is deep. So I had fun writing that book. So that's why I say that I had a good time. And it's really about loyalty because they have a saying, blood brought you in and only death can take you out.
That right there.
Yes. So that book is really, really deep. And it really gives you a sense. Like, you see a lot of other things in LA that people talk about. But when you talk about family and loyalty, not gang banging, family and loyalty, because this was about family and loyalty. And that's the book I said when somebody dies in this family, how they have to pull their family back together. And it's really hard. And that I went off of that emotion on that book. Like, how do you deal with loyalty? That book is really about loyalty. So that's why I said it's hard because I had a good time writing that book. So
I gotta check those out. I'm writing so much for myself that sometimes I get behind, but I can't wait to get done with Baby Girl 3 so that I can get back to reading for a while.
Yeah.
Because I love to read. And I definitely enjoy reading your work because it's not like reading something that your friend wrote. It's like, wait a minute, this is a real author.
My little brother says, when I read your books, I feel like he said, I don't feel like I'm reading. I feel like you're sitting there telling me a story.
Very entertaining from beginning to end. It's not just like some BS you're reading. You really take a lot of time to write. And from the first time I read Love Child when it was in its infancy. And I was like, girl, get that published. You need to publish it right now.
Yeah, that was.
I think I was at work during the weekend and where.
Mm-hmm.
doing a 56. And I read that, while I was supposed to be watching kids. I'm joking. That's a joke. But no, the whole time before my shit was over, I was done. And I was texting you the whole time, like, girl,
My niece did that when she was reading, she was reading this Ramsey's Rising. She was reading Love Child. She was like, how did you come up with this? Like,
that was a good one.
And then the twists and turns in Love Child, like,
right.
And I'm gonna get to that one because that's my baby. But Black Widow, like we were talking about. Let me see.
No, I'm talking about Love Child right now.
I know, but I want to do that one last.
Okay, you still talking about Black Widow?
Yeah, I want to jump into Black Widow.
Okay.
Oh, let me ask a question. I want to give out something else. How many books have I published? Not what's up right now on. Oh, actually, I think all my books are up on Amazon, even with the old covers. But don't go cheap. Oh, you know what book I didn't take out? My nonfiction. I wrote one nonfiction. Does anyone remember how many books I have? How many books have I published?
I do.
I'm gonna have to go count. No. I think I said I have 9 that are up right now.
You guys know the answer.
12. Is it 12 or 13? I think it's 12. Perlana, that's twice. What you want, girl? What you want? 13. Oh, is it 13, Keturah? Because if you add I have a nonfiction out. Let me tell you about this nonfiction I wrote. It's called Political Porn. And it's about when they were running for election and everybody, y'all did not really understand. They say the lesser of two evils and things like that. But nobody really knew who Biden was. And there were some good things about Biden. Nobody knew Kamala at all. And people thought, people say, well, Trump's not that bad because he had given money to all the stuff that he was doing for Black people on the surface. But at the end of that book, I couldn't even put how many. Perlana, I owe you another gift. I can't give you a gift, Keturah. It wouldn't be fair. Nobody realized how many civil rights he was taking away from you behind the scenes. And I really
like Biden right now.
And but see, that's what I was saying. There were so many, and I wrote this book because I thought that we needed to know, like, because the only thing people really knew is what they were telling you on the news. And on the news, they were telling you what you wanted to know. So I wrote this book about political porn when it's enough about these 3 people. I don't think anyone really cared about Pence. Pence was just standing there. Right. So, and I was kind of proud, like little old me got to number 63. I was like, wow, little old me. I'm like, little girl from the hood. Yeah, my book made it to number 63. So that's pretty cool. I put throughout the book, I'm not telling you who to vote for. Vote, don't vote, vote for whoever you want to do. I just thought there were some things that you didn't know about Biden, just what they wanted you to know. And there was a lot you didn't know about Trump, just what they wanted you to know. And Kamala, man, I just thought everybody needed to know. And I did put the good and the bad and make your decision. So yeah, I was pretty proud of that little book. You know what book? Somebody asked me for this book, so I don't have I don't have my own copy, and I really need to. This book right here. I hope you can see it. Can you see it? No.
No.
It's called A Piece of Me, and
I have that. I have that book.
When my mom passed away unexpectedly, just like, hey, your mom didn't wake up today. Wait, what? So that's how my mom passed away. Just gone in a blink. That's why I say appreciate the people you have in your life while you have them. Because my mom wasn't super sick. She just, I guess, got tired. Well, it was her day. But she just didn't wake up one day. She was on Facebook poking people hours before she passed away. Crazy, right? So when I'm calling and telling people what happened, they were like, your mom poked me this morning on Facebook. So I guess she was telling people goodbye. I don't know. But I struggled with my writing process because I hadn't finished Black Widow yet. I wrote Black Widow before my mom passed away. So I hadn't finished it yet. And then I broke it in half, and that's when I sent it to you. I was like, I'm gonna just stop, break it in half, and then get it out because I could not think to write. There was nothing in me that said, go write. So crazy thing is, Queen Jean said, just write a little bit. Whether it's good or not, just write something. So since I love music so much, I just would listen to certain songs, and then I took my interpretation of those songs, and I wrote a little something to each song. So that's why this book is called A Piece of Me, because when my heart was breaking, I wrote that book.
As a release.
Yeah. So that's why. And then it has little things. It has excerpts from some of my other books. And then I put a couple of passages on what it takes to write, my writing process, like what I talked about earlier today. So that book is special to me. That's my niece on the cover. She looks just like my mom did at that age. So that book is really special to me. I realized it wasn't edited well, though. Yeah, somebody told me that. So I might pull it down and have it re-edited. But I put it up just because I needed to start somewhere. Yeah, so that book is really special to me. Oh, thank you, Megalicious. Yeah, because the stories are really short. So, there's a lot in there, but they're really short. And that was a good book. So that's my little sadness for today. Hey, Perlana, make sure you DM me. I need your ad. Perlana, I think I have your address already, huh? So this is the book that we were talking about.
Black Widow.
Black Widow. This is the second part is coming out. Should be out next month. Black Widow. This book is about two best friends. They met at Baldwin Hill. Man, I use that Crenshaw High School. They meet at Crenshaw High School. One is straight from 60s. His daddy was from 60s. He is 60s. And the other one's mom is an actress. And his dad is an investment banker. How do they become best friends? One goes off to college and the other one promises to stay out of prison because his daddy is in prison while he's in college. He just goes to college right here at USC. While he's in college, he meets this girl who's she almost runs him over on a bicycle. She gets an attitude with him. They're inseparable from that day. So he marries her. He's paying her way to get a master's degree. He thinks that he's found the love of his life until, got you, Perlana, until he comes home and he's rigid. Like he's this rigid dude that does everything every day at the same time. Does everything exactly the same. Malik. But I mean, she breaks him when he gets a letter that says, and she pretty much tells him, like, yeah, I fell in love with somebody else. Yeah, he gets a Dear John letter. I fell in love with somebody else, period. And I'm leaving you. He's like, wait, I thought we were happy. So he just can't, and they own a hookah lounge. Him and his best friend together own a hookah lounge. You see, I love my little hookah. It's all in my book. So he's trying to like deal with, so he just shuts down, has his mom pack all the stuff, move out the house, takes anything out of his house that reminds him of her, like everything. Right. Nothing to do with her. And then in the midst of it, like he finds out it was his best friend that she left him for. Now, how do you now trust again? He wants nothing to do with the best friend or her. But that's impossible because now the best friend has to be his alibi because she sets him up for attempted murder on his own dad. So, oh yeah, this book has twists and turns. It is like it spirals out of control. And every time, like, she goes to the police and then says that the dad tried to rape her. So this girl is so twisted and demented, and every time they think they got her, she gets away. And there's some other things. This book is so deep, you have got to read it.
I agree.
Every time you think you get this book, and I gave you just that much so that you read it, because there's a lot more in there. Every time you think you, and then you'll start to feel sorry for her just a little bit. And then she does something else. Like, so, and then at the end of the book, when you think that she can't stoop any lower than the things that she has done to a man that was really good to her, the end of the book, she hits another low. And you're like, but in the whole book, if you listen to her talk, she's like, they did this to me. Like, she's a woman scorned. They hurt me because Malik was too boring and Levi didn't love her enough. So right. It's all their fault. And I'm like, that this book is deep. And I said, like I said earlier, I got the idea for this book off of a song. So my niece was like, how did you, one song, one video, and it spiraled out of control like that. A demented, and in her mind's eye, they did it to her. And they would not be going through this if they had just not treated her the way that they did. Amazing. So,
it was a very interesting read.
Because they always say what men do wrong to women. So I really wanted to get a book where women can really do something crazy. I hope no woman does that, though. A woman can't be as crazy as her.
I agree. I know some. Unfortunately.
Okay. Yeah, because she was out there.
Right.
Okay. Does anyone have a question for me? Because I will go through one last little novella before I get to my baby book. Okay, no? This little novella right here was also an assignment I had to do. This was my very, 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 very first published anything. And it was part of a, what is it called when there's a whole bunch of books into one?
A compilation?
Compilation. Mm-hmm. It was a compilation with my first publisher. Mm-hmm. And it's really short. So actually it was shorter than this. I added to it to be a novella for my second publisher. Because this was to introduce me. And it was in a book of compilations. But then when I went to the second publisher, again, it was to introduce me to the publishing world. Now this book is Hood is All Outdoors. That's why you see this cover. And I didn't think it did me justice because it was an assignment. You know, they tell you what to write about.
Right.
And you have to add it to that compilation. And it's called Caught Up in His World. It's a cute little book, though. I love this because it's cute. It's about Nia, who she's that straight-laced girl. Just she's I think she's an RN, and she works at the she used to work really hard, but then she started working in Beverly Hills at, like, I think it's a plastic. I wrote this so long ago. I think it's a plastic surgeon's office, so she doesn't have to work too hard. And she meets is it Kane? Yeah, she meets Kane, Dante, at a nightclub. And she's like, I'm not about to be bothered with you. Nope, you're not my type of dude. So he does this stalking thing where, like, everywhere she goes, he is. And he's like, oh, you're going to date me because I want to. He's a big time drug dealer. And she really is like, no, I don't want to date you. And then she ends up dating Dante. But she's he disappears on her. Like one day he's there and then he's gone, just gone, nothing. So why did I name him Kane?
Cocaine.
I know, huh? So he's one day she's in Starbucks and she hears like this big commotion and people like like he's some kind of superstar, right? She turns around, she sees it's him, and she's like, "Oh, don't let him see me! Don't let him see me! Don't let him see me!" He walks right up to her like, "Hey, girl, where you been? I'm looking for you." So when she finds out that he had been in jail, and she was like trying her best like to be rid of him, but she falls right back into place, right back seeing him doing the same old thing. And what does he do? Pops up on her, disappears on her, pops up on her, disappears on her. But the reason that she's caught up in his world is that when he left, she was pregnant. Yeah. And she had hid a whole baby from him for like 2 years.
Ooh.
Yeah, so it takes you through this crazy love story with him. So this was a pretty deep book. So I wrote this book.
You were a part of 2 publishing companies, Dee Dee?
Yes.
Oh, okay. That part I never knew.
Yes. The first one I was like a blessing. I got in. I sent her the first chapter of Love Child.
Mm-hmm.
She told me to rewrite it, and she got back to me in less than a month. And so to rewrite it, she loved it, and she signed me. Yeah. And I wrote Love Child. I wrote the whole series with her, and she signed me to a 3-book deal. And I think she got too big too fast because she kept signing. She wanted me to write something different. She didn't want street lit. She wanted an author because she writes. She's really big too. She writes paranormal books.
Okay.
And she had 2 other people that were writing street lit books, and she wanted something different, which is why she had signed me. And at the end of the 3-book deal, why is my son FaceTiming me? Every Saturday, I do the same thing. She wanted me to do, at the end of the 3-book deal, me and her were really good. Me and her assistant were not, so I wanted out.
Right.
Me and her are still good. And I think she understood that she couldn't keep me, and I don't get along with her assistant is her best friend. Right. And her assistant said, I did my best to maintain my professionalism with her, but I'm grown and I'm older than you, and you can't talk to me crazy. And your area code is 661. So, yeah,
we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
So, what do you prefer? Do you prefer because now you're an indie author?
Yes.
Do you prefer self-publishing, or do you prefer to put the marketing and the nuances of publishing in someone else's hand and just sit back and write?
I honestly love that because I don't have to do anything. And with their name on your book, people flock to it just because their name is on it. What I didn't like is all the stuff that goes, like I just said, all the stuff that goes with it. I'm paying for my promotions anyway. I still have to pay for my promotions.
Right.
So the only luxury in that is you don't have to, and then your book covers. I didn't like my book covers, and I really didn't have much of a say so in my old book covers. Right. Then they may pay for your editor, but then your editing's not done really well, and all you can do is blame yourself. But then at the back end, when you do leave, they own everything. Like my contract with Latavia, I still owned all my stuff. Right. When I left, I took everything with me. With the other publishing company, I didn't. They owned everything. Not anymore. But that's what the contract said. And the reason I was able to get out of it is because when I was reading certain things, I specifically said to her, this 7 years, what does that mean? Oh, no, that's just to protect everybody, this, and that. But then when I was I wasn't really able. I was going through some things, and I said I need to just take a little break for a little while. So I'm not gonna just. I just need a little break. My mom, I was, was not doing too well. My mom couldn't walk, so I was dealing with that, and she said, "Oh, okay, then I'll just drop you."
Okay.
Okay, then you don't get to keep my books, and that's fine. Because I understand you guys are like a market. When you are signed to a company, they're like a market. They want 30 days, 60 days. They want you to put out another book.
Right.
And I don't really, like I said, I don't really work like that because I don't put out trash. So
right.
I really need to make sure after I write it, I read it. And do you know how much I change? Because when you're writing, you're just writing. You are just going because your mind. And then you go back and be like, ooh, wow, ooh, man, ooh. And then you want to fix it. So I don't put out trash. I really have to put out a book I'm proud of. And I might read my book 3 times before I want to submit it. So, and that wasn't, I can't be a revolving door of trash.
Right.
So, and with trying to get my mom with the physical therapy and things like that, I just needed give me a month. My book was done. I just needed to read it.
Right.
And so I was good with that. So she wasn't like a bad lady to me. I just can't do the revolving. There's a lot of bad books out there.
How much marketing do you put into your books? Like, do you spend a lot of time on social media, or do you put money into advertising? And does that take up a lot of your day, away from writing and things like that?
I used to, which is why my books did really well. The last 4 to 5 months, I haven't. I usually have a promoter who will promote everything. So right. I'll have a digital promoter and a regular promoter, and then Eric used to do it also. Which would free my day up to do a lot of things that I needed to do. My poor son has a job now; he doesn't have time, and then I haven't. I haven't been promoting lately. I just started again. If you see, I just started popping up, promote my own stuff lately.
Right.
When I have a digital promoter is when you'll see me pop up on the ads, or you can click on the ad. It'll take you someplace. It'll take you to buy my books.
Right.
That's when I have a digital promoter working. So yeah, it's expensive though. Your promoters are expensive, and if you're not putting out books that are worth buying, you end up losing a lot of money at the end of the year.
Right.
So, because promotions are expensive. Yeah. So, but I'm about to get back on it. Usually I spend a lot of money on promotions when I'm just dropping a book.
Right.
And then after that, then me and Eric will do it. I did have one promoter I had since the beginning that I really used all the time. Your promoters get complacent when they've been with you for a long time. Mm-hmm. And they're supposed to promote you 4 or 5 days a week, and then you'll notice they just did it twice a week instead of 4 times a week, but you're still paying them the same amount of money. So sometimes it's good to keep them on their feet, and they see that they're not using me right now. They don't went to this other promoter. See, there's a lot of promoters out there. So that I had to do that because, I had her for like 4 years, and I've noticed you're promoting everybody's books but mine, but yet I pay the same amount of money every month. So you got complacent.
Right.
So there's too many of them out there begging for work. So, yeah. Candy cane. Ah. Yeah. Oh, he was no joke. And in that book that I just showed you, that was this book. This dude, not that dude, but in the book, I always say I don't write books that are about anybody. Like they're all fictional characters. This is the only book that I took 2 dudes that I really know and made it one character to write this guy. Yeah. I only had like 30 days to write this book. And I wanted a really strong dude. Mm-hmm. So I took 2 people that I know, I put them together, their personalities together, and I created that character. Yeah.
Now that's wild because all my characters are usually influenced by someone's personality, not by them specifically, or but I take personalities from the people that I know and I put them into characters. So that's kind of, you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know how to come up, I don't know how to just come up with something and think about off the top of my head about something like that.
Yeah,
It comes from somewhere.
And in Black Widow, when I did his mom, I thought about there's this one actress that's been on. She's an actress, and she always says she is that actress that she's a soap star, and she's always that black friend in every black movie.
Right.
So there's this one soap star that really is that person. I can't think of who she is right now. When I was trying to think of his mom as who she would be, I thought about a soap actress that's in, like, growing up. She was like the friend in every black movie. Like, didn't have a major role, but you always saw her in the background. She was always somebody's friend. So I thought about her as that person. So that's who I imagined. But a lot of times when I create my characters, I'll go on Pinterest and I'll just look at people and I'm like, that's my character. And I'll start from that. And then I'll just create a whole life from them from that one picture. Yeah. Crazy, right?
That's cool. Right.
But I spent a lot of time alone. My sister was 3 years older than me and didn't want nothing to do with me. And when I lived in New York, I was the only child. So I didn't have imaginary friends. And then I read so many books over the years. I was there when Moses parted the sea. So my imagination is ridiculous. It just, or then I stop and think, like, who would I want to have as a best friend? What would they be? And then you just start to create. So, or you start thinking about somebody, like somebody.
That's good stuff.
Yeah, or like who irritates me the most, and then you just create, like, oh, they would do this and they would do that. That would get on my nerves. Oh, all of my books. Yes. I'll do that. I actually have them all written down on my notes, so I will put them up there in 2 seconds. Because I'm put my YouTube channel and all that up here too, because I'm going back to making videos tomorrow. So, because I gotta finish. I did sneak peeks on Instagram Queens 1 and 2, and I didn't do book 3 because I want to get into Black Widow, break down Black Widow. I do sneak peeks on all my books. So they're called spoiler alerts. So I will spoil my whole book for you on my YouTube channel. So, and then certain things I don't tell you, so you still gotta buy the book. This here, Love Child. This is the book that I gotta find a cover better than that. You know what I'm saying? Because that cover was dope. When I talk about this book, the one thing I say to people first, like at the book fair, I said to anyone that asked about this book, if you had generational wealth and you just had money, would you do the same exact thing to clean up your messes, all the things, your secrets, all the bad things in your closet, like white people do? A lot of people would be like, no, I would never do that. Yes.
It depends on if it would mess up my money.
A lot of people would. Like every time your kid makes a mistake, oh my goodness, he might not graduate college. Oh, he shouldn't have did that with this girl and pay her off. Would you, as parents, would you clean up your kids' mistakes first? A lot of times. 2, if you are now grown and you find out your father is not the man you thought he was, would you do the same thing to make sure his reputation after he passes away stays clean? That's where I started writing this book. How many people would move heaven and earth to make sure all of their dad's dirty laundry does not get out and all the terrible things that he did? So I started, and it ended up being 3 books. it started out with Love losing her father. And it just breaks her heart because she thought it's called Love Child because she thought she was her dad's only secret, where she was a love child. Her name was Love. They call her Love. Her name was Geneva, but they call her Love. Her mother dropped her off on the porch. Hey, what's up, Melly Mel? She just her in a little green suitcase in this big mansion in Boston. Just drops her off and like, yeah, you and your wife get to raise her now. And she's like 5. So she thinks that's her dad's only ugly secret. And he takes her in and raises her, and she gets the best life that she didn't have with her mom. And then as he dies, all these things start to unravel about him and all the things that he's really done. And then her memory starts to come back. You know, when you hide, you know, as a child, things that happen to you, you kind of block away. And then it unravels. And her brother, they don't have a good relationship in the beginning of this book because she ends up marrying William, which was his best friend. Now, William, because it's a few stories in this book, William looks at this family like, what is wrong with you guys? You guys have rich people problems. Because William plays for the Lakers. He was the first round draft pick, and he gets hurt his first season. Now, this is a kid from the streets. You know, the only thing he had was his mom, and he thought, I made it. I got drafted. I'm a Laker. Now what? I can't play anymore. So he picks himself up by his bootstraps. He goes back to college and gets a law degree and becomes one of the biggest
attorneys?
No, he is an attorney, but what he does is he does it for athletes. So he does their contracts, right? So he's looking like, I've had to work for everything. You people are crazy. So all he's ever wanted to do was love. Like, and she is more interested in doing whatever her brother says. So he's just tired. She treats him really bad, and they have one child. So it's an interesting story. So, you know, that's book 1. And then there's this, it talks about her and her friends. She has a really good set of friends. So there's another story in the book where she gets, she has a stalker. So she ends up getting kidnapped in this book too. So I don't want to say too much because if you get this book, it's not out yet. But this book really deals with how do you deal with the secrets. And then they have an uncle and they're trying to figure out, is he on my team or is he not on my team? And Liam, ends up getting to the point where he pulls a gun out on his uncle. And he's like, I'm going to have to kill you. Because I don't know if you're working for us or against us. Because he knows all the secrets that come with their father. And then the mother, she has dementia. So the reason they're finding out all the things that their father actually did is because every time she sees the son, she thinks it's the father. So he is, as she's telling him these things, the son, Liam is like, wait a minute, what? So this book is pretty deep. So it had retribution. And then when she finds out one of her best friends, one of her closest friends betrayed her, and her father knew all the things that were happening to her, and her friend sat on her face every day and didn't tell her that she knew these secrets that her father had. So when she seeks revenge on that friend, that's in book 3. You're like, wait a minute, what? Yeah. But the killing spree is real in that one also. They go on the, like, wait, what? So, but that's why I said that book right there, those 3 books, when I put them back out, those are the ones. That's the one that I got the first time I got nominated for an award, and it wasn't for Black fiction or urban fiction. It was just best literary fiction, and that's why I said that book right there is really special to me.
Right.
So, yeah. So, I love that book. That's why I had to do it last, because that book means so much to me. And I started with the how would you feel if when I go off of emotion, I like to write every book off of some type of emotion. Like what do you do when the person that means the most to you in the world just dies? And my mom was alive, so it wasn't. She's the one who got me to start writing. So that was the feeling that and you can when that's why my first promoter, my first publisher, she liked it so much because you can feel that anguish that
Right.
when she gets that phone call that her dad died, and that's what pulls you in that first few chapters, the anguish of losing her
Right.
father. Yeah. So, and I do a lot of research because I've never been to Boston, and I really get Boston down in this book. Never been there before. So, yeah, I research every book that I write. And like, let's say like I'm writing about LA, and I'm writing about a restaurant, and now it's not there anymore. You read my book, and you're like, that restaurant ain't there anymore. So I still research everything that I write about to make sure things are still authentic and still there.
Right.
Things are changing up nowadays.
Right.
Yeah.
What advice do you have for someone who wants to write a book and doesn't have the confidence to, get started?
Start. Because like I said, it may take me 3 times to finish a book. First, just write. That's what people think that one, they say they don't have time. Give yourself even if it's just 15 minutes a day. But always start it. And people say, I don't know how to start. Start. Because I didn't know how to start the book. I remember I couldn't even think and put 2 sentences together when I started.
Yeah.
So that's the hardest part is just sitting down and starting. First, get out a notebook. Hey, I'm giving out notebooks tonight. And I got 1,000 notebooks. Everyone is on the top tells you what it is. Start with, what do you want the book to be about? That's your number one goal. What do I want this book to be about? If I want the book to be, my theme is always 90% of the time LA. Get out that closet. LA is my theme. What's going to happen in LA? We're going to rob a bank. What bank are we? No, what bank are we going to rob? The one in this. Who's going to be my main characters? And then write them down. And then go from there. And then this is always say how your book is going to end. It never really ends the way you say. At the end, we're going to get caught. At the end, we're going to end up in Mexico. And, so give yourself where you want it to end. And then you start from
Right.
there.
Right.
So that's how you really get started. And then start writing. Because you're going to read it 3 or 4 times. It's never going to stay the same. So that's it. But always plot it. Give yourself, and people can say, I just sit down and start writing, and then there I go, I got a book. I never understood that. But you really have to just start plotting and get a notepad and just start from. I pulled out my notebook, and I told you I started with the characters. I just built the characters, one character at a time. This is going to be this person. It's going to be that person. It's going to be this friend. It's going to be that friend. This is the mom. And just start from there. So. Oh, let me put my list of books. I put the Amazon site up here where you can see all the books, but I do have a list of all my books that I put up tonight. Oh, my dog is walking around in circles. Like, are you having a heart attack? You having a heart attack? Yeah. I yelled at him to get out the closet, and ever since then he's been walking around in a circle. Like, are you okay? Make me a little nervous.
I don't know if you answered this, but do you have to have like a mood set for when you begin writing? Like, do you have a ritual for when you write? Do you set up music or, are you in a certain room when you start writing?
Funniest thing. I was talking to Eric about this the other day. I wrote Black Widow. Don't judge me. Watching Friends. Like Friends was in the background. Smoking Black and Miles and drinking vodka. And you read Black Widow, so you know it's not like a terrible book. I really did.
It's a good book.
I told Eric, I don't know how I did it. And there were some nights I'd have my son come in the room. I don't know what I did with my books. I got all G-Lew stuff on here. He would come in the middle of the night, early in the morning. I would write all night long, and he would come in the room, and I'd fall asleep with the laptop on my lap, and he would look, and I was like, because he would always look through my stuff, because I always bounce ideas off and whatever we want to write. I do a lot with my son, so I was like, look at this, and he was like, what the hell did you write? I was like, I don't know, but in my mind last night, it was really good. He was like, Mom, delete all that. Just delete all that. I don't even know what that says. Because I would be writing when, they'll start going to bed about 10 o'clock. So I'll write from like 10 to 3 o'clock in the morning, 10 to 6. As they're getting up, I'm going to bed. And my mom be sitting there looking at me like, you still writing. That's what the dog does to me now. Like, you still, and he'll just start walking on the laptop, like, go to bed. Because I just do things all night long. Those are my hours that everything just flows.
You get creative.
Yeah.
I don't know. I get a certain burst of creativity before I go to bed. I don't know what that is.
It just, I don't know either. I think it's because the everyone else starts to shut down, and it just
right.
Yeah. I don't know, but I love it. I love being alone. I love when it's nice and quiet.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to post in here my link tree. And that it has all my books, all my YouTube, all my everything. I had a thing with all my books, but I got so many things in my notes. I thought I sat here and got that all pasted in there, but the one thing I didn't paste in my notes was all my books. But I'm going to tell you what they are. We have, not just guess. Watch this. I'm about to go on my Amazon page. I'm about to cheat. There we go. Because I'll forget something. Amazon. This dog is really tripping. He must have to use the bathroom. I'm not taking you any place right now. My son called. Dog is tripping. We have Ramsey's Rising, 1 and 2, Instagram Queens, Black Widow, A Piece of Me, Political Porn, and Love Child, and Caught Up in His World. Those are the books. Or he hears something. You got me acting nervous now, puppy dog. So yeah, and then that link tree that I just put up there, it'll take you to everything that I have. My Twitter, my Instagram, all my books, YouTube, everything that's on there. That's it right there. And then what is my favorite book that I've written? So I'm giving out any one of my books that I've written, and you can answer that one. I will send any book I've written to you. They're all my babies. I love them all. Oh, and I have the publishing company. I have been trying to find somebody that writes teenage books for teenagers for a long time.
Young adult?
Yes. Oh, my publishing company is Lovely Unlimited. We have a new book dropping tomorrow. What is that book called? Oh, The Curse of Katrina, Birds of a Feather. The Curse of Katrina, that's dropping tomorrow. We have Certified Gangster. We gave out last, I think Friday. We gave out for free for the promo for this new book coming out. So, Black Widow, no, that's not my favorite. I love that book though, the twists and turns on that. But the one that means so much to me, that I just really, really, it's like my baby, my heart, my soul, my everything. It's
We
like,
just talked about it.
I know. How you doing, Melly Mel? I haven't seen you in a while. I come on your show. I be peeping you out almost every Friday. That's how you feel, man? I'm just messing with you. But you know I be there. Sometimes I can type in and say, hey, I'm watching because I clean up while I listen to you. See? Okay, it's Love Child. The one we just talked about, the one that's like, and the biggest reason why is because one, it kicked this whole thing off. And two, like if you came in late, I'm not gonna repeat my miserable story. Yeah, it's not miserable, but it really got my brain going again. And it got me going in life, and it turned out really, really well. I think it's I think that's a novel. You know, you have books and then you have a novel. And I think that turned out to be a novel. That's a really good book. So um and my niece doesn't even read. Well, not like she doesn't read, but she, you know, during the pandemic, she was the manager at H&M, and you know, they all got sent home. And she was like, Auntie, I need something to do. What can I do? And I said, read one of my books. So she went to her mom's house. You know, my sister has all my books. And my sister, she asked my sister which one, and she said, read Love Child. And she sat and went through all three of those books. And she kept calling me. Like, and she is the only one that picked up on, though. Everyone that has read that series, no one realized that the Cain in Love Child is the same Cain in Caught Up in His World.
Mm.
She's the only one that picked up on that. Because if you read my books, they're interchangeable. This is LA. So all these characters are in the same area. This is LA. So if you read my books, you'll see that the characters pop in and out of each book. She caught it. Yeah. And I'm going to extend, when I re-release Caught Up in His World, I'm going to extend it because something happens to him. That if you read the book, if you read both books, you'll realize that I have got to finish She Made Me Remember, because there was supposed to be a part 2 to Caught Up in His World. Because he was in that book, I have to go back and finish Caught Up. Yeah. So very, very interesting. But I got so busy writing all the other books, I forgot to go back and finish that part 2 of Caught Up in His World. Because it was on other publishing companies, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. So this was fun. I like my books. I love my characters. The husband was teasing me because somebody a couple of months ago somebody had hit me up. I was trying to get Black Widow finished up, and somebody hit me up. It was like, "Are you mad at me? Did I do something to you? What are you talking about?" Well, you keep answering me with one word, or you haven't been calling me. I laugh so hard because when I'm in my books, those are my friends, and that is my world, and nothing else around me matters. Just those characters, they're like all that I care about at that. And I don't even realize that I've shut the world out. So the husband was laughing. He was like, "Yeah, that's how you get when you start a new book or end in a book. Yeah, you forget the world around you." I was like, "I know, because either I just met these new people, they're so new in my life, or I'm ending it." And then you start getting like, "Oh, they're going away," you know. So it was so funny. I was like, "Don't take it personal. I'm like in the midst of something." And now, like I'm at the end of Black Widow, and it's like I'm at that point where I said this person's gonna die, but in this particular point, I was like, "Oh, do I make it you and throw everybody off?" So, yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait to send this one over to you. You're gonna get it real soon. So, I know I get all into when it comes to books and writing. I get so into this world. It's really nice being in a world of make believe. And then I get to dictate the make believe. I can't dictate anyone's life. Like my kids are grown. I try to dictate Eric's life, and he'll look at me like, "Yeah, lady, please." No, I do still dictate Eric's life to a certain extent. But I won't be for too much longer. I think I did a really good job. You know, he's 20, and I think he's kind of sensible. But this was great. Thank you so much. If you want a gift, DM me so that I can get that out to you. If you want a book, anyone that's incarcerated, the one thing that I do is I send free books to anyone that is incarcerated. I think that's how I got so popular in the prisons. I started sending them. Right, I started sending them, and then people just started buying them. But that's what I do. Anyone that's incarcerated, I always send books to anyone behind the wall. So all you have to do is email me, DM me. My email is just like me, ddhairston100@gmail.com. So that I do. If you go out there, get my book. If you buy a book and one thing I do, I'll send you a black. Oh, we were talking about t-shirts last night. I make t-shirts. I have this thing. I used to have a t-shirt business. I did really good in my t-shirt business, and then my life kind of went chaotic, and the Most High sat me down. So look, this is my Eric has DJ Quick. I asked him for it. He ain't never came back. So look, this is my can you see it? That's my MC8. Well, mine is dirty. That one is still in the closet. See, check me out. Can you see it?
Yes.
That one is still wrinkled. It hung up to dry.
So you made those shirts yourself?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's T-Lew. You can't tell because that's when he was really young. I got a bunch, but I haven't washed clothes. But I just when I do my West Coast Wednesday, can you see it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those are my shirts. Oh, that one was correct. I can't see them. Yeah. So I got my J.O. felony is dirty because I like to chill out in there. So thanks for hanging out with us tonight. Again, I do send the free books. Go order the books, buy my books. If you want a signed one, I do send those out also. And don't forget, Darayl writes also. We did her books. I'm about to record my book review on your book tomorrow. Look, Most High willing. You know, I'll be done woke up tomorrow talking about, I don't feel good. My freaking head hurts.
Wawa. It's a Wawa.
I was going to get it casted or splintered or something. My freaking son, I don't know why I listened to this boy. He like, you about to go over to Centinela. You're going to be sitting in there with all them COVID patients and you're going to come home with COVID. Girl, I was like, oh, never mind. Why does he
They don't let you go. They don't let you go amongst regular people when you have COVID, though.
That's what I told him, but then, okay.
If you have symptoms, they treat you like you got the plague.
I was like, he makes me so sick. And I was like, I'm about to go take a Motrin and sit down. I didn't take it, though. I did break down and take a Tylenol in the middle of the night the other night. It hurt so. I'm sleeping with it out. You know, I don't take medicine. So you know this thing hurt if I broke down and took a Tylenol. So, I think it's swollen. The reason I said it might be fractured is because it got swollen. And because you know I bump into everything all the time. Right. I'm so clumsy. So this time, I messed with my grandson. See, leave people alone. But you know, I'm an adjutant. But I barely, when I tell you barely, hit the bathroom door. Nah, barely. That it didn't even bother me at first. Just when you say, ouch, like a paper cut. Like by the end of the night, I was a mess.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but you know, at work I fractured my ankle and broke it and finished my shift.
Mm.
Yeah. And then tried to go
You
the next
probably
day.
had adrenaline too. You probably had adrenaline too.
I'm so retarded. I tried to get overtime the next day.
Mm.
Do you know when it hurt? When I drove myself to Kaiser, it didn't start hurting until they showed me the x-ray. Then I want to start crying like a little baby. So I said, yeah, I could work this out. I'll be fine. So, okay, I know. See, we'll be acting like we're on FaceTime. And these are we all on FaceTime with all my wonderful friends. Thank you, Pamela. Pamela, oh, did you DM me, Pamela? You got a gift too, right? You got to remind me what you got. I got to go back through all these comments in the morning because I couldn't write. Usually I take really good notes. I appreciate it. Thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight, especially since it was just me talking about me. So I sat in here nervous like a ding dong. So I'm asking other people stuff and I'm all into their stuff, but then I was sitting here like, what you gonna say about you?
That's how it goes. It's easier when you're not the one with the spotlight.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, but I really do love writing. I do. Mm-hmm. So, almost as much as I love reading. So again, thank you guys. Oh, we're gonna toast Keturah. You still out there, Keturah? We miss you, girl. I hope you're doing better, love. Oh, there it is. We appreciate you, Western Ave. You always make things wonderful and fun. You are so fun.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. AG, you can throw that video up there. Love you guys.
No, I'ma stick to the plan. No, I'ma stick to the plan. Yeah. No one can fuck with my bread. No, I'ma get it, I can. Yeah. I'm not too hungry to wait. I got too much on my plate. Yeah. Every day I make a play, so I need you out of the way. Yeah. I'ma stick to it. Yeah. I had a long day and I'm a long way from where I'm going. I need to relax. You can ease that boy. I know I want you so bad, but I need that back. Never going back. Sticking to my plan. Yeah. I'ma stick to it.
Motherfuckers to the left. King Tripe ballin' on the west to the death. With one breath, get your little haters upset. Banging on the vet to get your set soaked wet every time. G-Lew usually rolling with a 9. Caged in a range with a couple hood dimes. The hub city's mine with killers of all kind. A G over 30 still feeling in his prime. The right frame of mind, I lift a nigga off his feet. But the left will slap a nigga to sleep. I'm a monster. Fuck being a gangster, I'm a gunster. First generation capo, I leave the rest to you youngsters.
6 deep in the tank, unlimited artillery. Dealing with a gang of hostility. Party to your guardian angel, Angie, gorilla, what's up? Get mango. You're in present day. Flying off a roller coaster, lost in the ocean.
Yeah.
There's sharks in the water.
Listen here, y'all cops, better collect your pension. Ain't no one shot.
I'm over here partying. Never fails. Thank you so much. Yes, it is Love Child. Make sure you DM me with addresses so I can get those out to you. Thank you for hanging out with us tonight. Don't forget, tomorrow is Sunday. Oldies rule forever. And we won't be here Saturday. G is going to watch. I'm about to be a hater. Watch. G is going to Vegas to watch Raiders play, my team, and I don't even care. So yeah. I do. I wish I could go. But it's all good. We will be here tomorrow. Don't miss Ollie's Room Forever. And we had a blast last night. So I just want to say thank you guys. I really appreciate you hanging out with me tonight. Me and C. Darayl and Get Better Keturah. We love you. Peace. Thank you guys. And DM me so I can get those out to y'all. Okay, Perlana. Yeah, Perlana, I see yours come up.